Beauty before age.
Ah.
That would be you.
Oh, okay. Hi. I'm Patrick Cronin, and along with Jodi Nelson, I am, I guess, sort of co-director of the Film Boot Camp. Is that what I am?
Well, we developed it together,
Yes,
so
we did.
we're partners in crime.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
So here we are, back again for another, we had a year off while Jodi was getting her PhD in England. So we're back again, and we're going to have our second Film Boot Camp.
Yeah, this is our second year. We learned so much from our first year. It was very successful. We were very happy with the outcome. Great students. We learned a lot from the program. I think we got as much out of it as the students
As
did.
is always the case.
Yeah.
I'm always prepared to give the money back when I have this much fun.
Yeah.
We also got lots of film interviews with our former students. They all got to make, how many movies did we make? 5?
We had 5. We had 12 students in our first class.
Right, and
5 movies.
we made 5 movies. They ranged from, I guess, 5 minutes to 20.
No, they weren't quite that long. We had some of them that were about 4 to 7.
4 to 7.
So they're still in a very short range, but
Right.
they only had 2 weeks to make
They only
it.
had
so.
2, yes. So it's make your movie in literally sort of more like a week.
Yeah.
Because the first week in class is taken up with
Hands-on workshops, theory, understanding what you're going to shoot, writing a script, preparing like a real professional movie.
One of the things that struck me, and you and I have talked about it, Jodi, is that Jodi has made several films, and I've made a gazillion films as an actor, some as a behind-the-scenes person, but mostly in front. And we thought that our students the first year were going to be medium road filmmakers who have done maybe a film or two
Right.
and who wanted to take their skills to another level. And we had 1 or 2 of those. But the majority of our students were first timers. And we were surprised by this.
Yeah.
And that meant, of course, we had to cover a lot of basics. But it was really enjoyable, and it was great to see a 19-year-old filmmaker.
We actually had one that was we had 17
We
to
did.
60.
Yes, we did, 17
So we
to
had
60.
a very wide range, and even the filmmakers who had made films before, they hadn't made them in quite the Hollywood way, if
Right.
you will, from a traditional standpoint of understanding all the pitfalls and preparation that goes into making a professional film. So even those who had shot films before learned a whole range of new skills, and inevitably, I think, made their films a little better as well.
Well, I think what's exciting about the program, what I'm looking forward to this year, is that we get a lot of young, high school age, 17, seniors who can take, again, it's an academic course, so not only do you learn how to make a film, but you can get 3 hours of college credit. And that's terrific if you're a senior in high school looking to begin your college career with a leg up.
Yeah.
So I urge young filmmakers who are in their senior year in high school, or even juniors who are advanced, to take. This would be a great course for them. And again, 17 to 60.
Yeah,
so
it's not just limited to high school. I mean,
No.
we certainly want folks that are in the community, college students that are here at ETSU or Northeast State. It's also being offered as a hybrid course, which means that if you don't live locally in the area, you can still take the course online, which is pretty exciting. We actually had a student in the first year that couldn't make all of the classes, so he participated by logging onto the class remotely and learned just as much, and then he would meet up with his film group to put a film together. And this year, I think we're going to open it up so it's not just narrative films, but documentary, experimental films. So even those students who can't make it to the course physically are still going to be able to go out and make their own film with relatively a small or no crew. They could just take a camera and go and shoot a documentary or an experimental film. So that's really exciting.
It is.
We'll definitely have a lot more hands-on workshops this time. We did a lot of production aspects from pre-production all the way to post, but we're definitely going to add in directing the actor, acting for the camera. So we really encourage actors to come and take this course as well, us both being professional actors. It's really important to stress that actors need to learn what happens on the other side of the camera, how to create their own short projects that can help proliferate their career as well, and send stuff out through the internet, send stuff to casting directors and things of that nature.
Well, one of the other benefits to this program, especially if you're primarily interested in being an actor rather than a director, is that you get to act in as many of the films as you want. So you end up with an outstanding reel. So that becomes part of the, as you say, the self-marketing program. And we did a lot of, it's not enough today to just make your movie and hope you get an agent.
Right.
Or hope you get taken in by, Sundance or one of the festivals. You really have to self-market, and Jodi did a brilliant lecture on several of the people who recently have been using online as ways to market their own products. So our classes will not only be how to make the film, but how to sell it. Yeah. And that's essential. So we look forward to, I'm really excited about this year because we did learn a lot. We probably will do a little less of the stuff that was for more advanced filmmakers. We weren't, we had several lectures, I think, that maybe for Film Boot Camp 2.
Yeah, well, again, not really understanding who our students were going to be,
right.
And we'll make adjustments accordingly. So that's why I think we were really surprised that we had sort of fresh, new faces that have never really made a film before, and we're going to make it a lot of fun. They ultimately, even though it was a lot of hard work and a lot of paperwork and a lot of preparation, they did feel that it was very helpful in helping them to visualize their film and helping to see their film sort of come together in a very prepared way, as opposed to just taking a camera and shooting stuff.
The other thing is most people wrote their own film. In fact, they all did.
They all did. They all had to write their own script.
And that's the way it goes. There's no point in you filming a play by Ibsen. You're not going to sell it.
Right.
So you want to be able to tell your story. So a lot of this film boot camp is, I have a story to tell. It's about my cancer. It's about my kids growing up. It's about my life in high school. And those stories need to be told, and this is a way to tell them.
What's really interesting, too, is that out of the 12 students, you couldn't have asked for a more diverse group of human beings.
It's true.
And then when they got together in the group, they brought so many different elements. We had one group in particular that's, I always love to tell the story. We had one that was a politician. We had one that was a skateboarder dude. And then we had another one that just wanted to tell jokes. He was like this comedy, king of comedy kind of thing. And when they sat down together, they sort of like, what do we have in common? Nothing. How are we going to write a script that, everybody likes? Right. And they ended up incorporating all factions of things they were interested in and came up with a really great, you and I were in it, a 5-minute film that we acted in as well. And it actually turned out pretty good. So we'll have those films posted on Facebook. We'll also have interviews from some of our past students to give you a little insight about what the Film Boot Camp is about.
They can go to our site to see these films.
Yep, it's filmbootcamp.ning.com, and we're also on Facebook under ETSU Film Boot Camp.
So get started and
sign up and see what's coming down the road.
See you in June.
Okay.
Can you maybe talk for just a couple of minutes on the challenges independent filmmakers face and how the new technology and the internet, it's made it a lot more accessible for almost anyone, but it makes it a lot more competitive, and not everyone should have a point-and-shoot camera. You know what I mean?
Yes. What makes this class important, I was in an independent film about 5 years ago, shot by 2 University of Southern California film grads, from the Spielberg School. And these guys had $80,000 for a budget, which is quite good for a small indie. And this was their 6th independent film. Everything about it was first rate. Everything about it was professional. The actors were myself, Marcia Lewis from The Newhart Show, and Dawn Wells from Gilligan's. And a lot of wonderful professional actors. We were all under SAG contracts. It took them 2 years to get a film festival, the Hoboken Film Festival, to exhibit their film. So it isn't enough to just, as you say, Heather, point and shoot. You've got to be able to figure out, how am I going to market this? How do I cut through? Because today,
there's a lot of noise out there.
Well, what's the cheapest camera you can have that will give you air quality? About $2,500?
Probably, or even less.
Even less.
Yeah.
It used to be, even 10 years ago, you needed a
20, 30,000.
Yeah. Now you have a $2,500 camera. You can shoot on-air quality. But alas, do you know how to tell a story?
Right.
Do you know how to edit? Do you know how to really use Final Cut Pro? Do you really know how to use the other tools at your disposal? And then finally, do you know how to get into the festivals? It can get very expensive. Festivals do not allow submissions without money.
Right.
So if you submit to 100 festivals at $50, $100, $200, $300 a submission, it can get pretty expensive.
Yep.
So knowing your market, knowing what you can do after you made your movie. It's not enough to make your movie, although that's where it starts. But you have to know how to market the movie and how to make your next movie.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think a lot of the differences today are that you're having to sort of do marketing in reverse. Used to, the filmmaker didn't even want to think about marketing. I certainly didn't want to when I was making Chasing Life in 2004, 2005. At the beginning, I thought, I don't want to think about the marketing because I don't want to sort of color the film to make it a commercially viable film. I really wanted to stick true to the story itself. But in 2005, 2006, when the iPod came out with the video player and you've got video podcasts and now social media starts up, it soon became a viable tool for the filmmaker to be able to crowdfund, start getting fans before the film even comes out. So these are all skill sets that the filmmaker has to learn on top of learning how to make a film. And you're right, they not only do they have to know how to shoot, but knowing what composition, how to frame their shot, knowing aesthetics, mood, getting the right actors, getting a good script, editing, and then certainly that's just one aspect of the filmmaking learning curve now. Now you have to know how to market it, understand the politics and film festivals involved, understand putting together a marketing kit, marketing package, and then also yourself knowing how to brush up on media skills yourself. How are you going to talk to the media about your film, pitching your film to investors, distributors, etc.?